Hello and welcome back to the ministry, and today I'm doing a really short word, one because I'm sitting outside and it just started drizzling, so it's not gonna be long. And the topic is a long, intensive word, but it's something to think about. The other day I brought up a mention of the fact that the Lord is blessing people. I heard a word from a young woman several months back. Her name was Ray, and it's like her ministry name is like something like a word with Ray or something like that. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm seeing the words, can't get it off of, can't get the actual word. But she was talking about in this season, the Lord is blessing his people. And he may even use the lottery to be the thing that he uses to bless his people. And I was looking at that and I was like, I have had a love-hate relationship with the lottery. Because as a Christian, we are taught that we are not meant to gamble. But I have also seen scenarios where there was this woman, she was a church-going woman. She put in for a lottery ticket for something, one of the major jackpots, and she won. I think she won like $180 million or something like that after taxes, was it? I don't remember if that was before or after taxes. And every year, maybe once or twice a year, we see this happen, that the jackpot will not get won. It will just increase till it gets to north of $1 billion. And sometimes I've seen it go up to 1.5 billion. But I've seen people talk about it, and the fact of the matter is, it's funny. I wrote a word on this out of sheer irritation, and I was looking at it today. I wrote this word 5 to 6 years ago, around the same time, maybe May, because it was around May, June, when it happened in 2017, I think it was. And I was livid at the time, because I was like, why is it that a Christian person cannot win this amount of money? For one, I believe it is mindset. A lot of Christians believe that it would be sinful to win an amount of money such as this. We are taught, sad to say, about a poverty gospel in church, that we shouldn't tithe, we should not give. The famous pastor, as of recently, made a big to-do over the tithing, and the fact of giving should not be done in this season. But if you are an actual Christian that gives, you know and have the fullness of the understanding that in your giving is where you see the biggest amount of manifestation over your finances you've ever seen. And a person that gives is more likely to gain a financial blessing of a magnitude because of what they do in silence. In all the areas in which they give, whether it's their time, their money, their advice, their ability to cook, whatever it is, all that giving, that it equates financially to that. If a person, let's just think about this for a second. If a person literally is making their net worth of what they should make on an average day-to-day basis, which met not just comfort level, but a level of financial security that they did not feel like they had, the old saying, rob Peter to pay Paul, which is technically part of the Bible. But basically, they feel like, especially in the season like this of inflation, where people can barely afford to go to the grocery store, and the grocery store is inflating the prices to a miserable, outrageous amount, that if a person lived comfortably financially, they would have to be paid anywhere from 3 to 5 times what an average salary affords to give them. Some 7 to 10. It all depends what you want, what your desire, what your life goal is. But to just live comfortably, it would be about 5 times your average salary. And in today's inflation, yeah, it would need to be 10 times. Then think about that for all the years in which a person naturally works. Think about the taxes being taken out. So, if a person got what their fair wage for a comfortable lifestyle was, it would be worth the value of a couple $1 million. $5, $7, $10, $15 million. And with inflation and rate of what they call, what's the word? It's something about compound interest. Yeah, you could end up with several millions of dollars. So why is it that when a Christian makes the decision to potentially purchase a lottery ticket or do something, oh my God, I remember the apostle I used to listen to, well, I listen to him right now, he did a word the other day, but he did a word at the time this happened about 3 years ago, and he joked about it. And there were even memes and little cartoons people were doing about pastors going to the lottery to play the lottery. And it's like, what is... It's such a bad connotation, but for the Christian, it's like it's a sin to do. Do I play the lottery? I have not played the lottery myself in over 5 to 6 years. If it happened, it was because my dad was buying tickets and he just asked, you want me to play you something? It wasn't me buying tickets. I think the last time I personally bought tickets was over 7 years ago. And I would only buy in relation to maybe something like this happening. But I know me well enough to know that my own mind has a tendency to collapse the thought of financial security by lottery. But why are we operating like this? We are children of God. It is the children of God. Think about it like this. It is children of God that operate in the kingdom, and it is the money of the children of God that funds a lot of things that go on a regular average basis. I was listening to a minister say this. He was saying that when you calculate the amount of finances that Christian people put into the economy alone, if they pulled their wealth or pulled whatever assets they had that they were using to buy and do what they were doing on an average basis, it'd be trillions of dollars. So why is it that we are afraid to invest? Because that's what it is. It's an investment. Because the church has made the lottery into something that is not something that we should do. It's not something that we should invest our time in. It is a gamble. But I remember, it's funny, I was watching a movie, I think it was Eat, Pray, Love, and in the beginning Julia Roberts is telling this joke, and he said that a person was seeking to have financial increase, but the wisdom of it was the making of the decision to even play the lottery in the first place. What if God really wants to bless you in that way? What if God wants to open that door? Just like this young woman said, God is opening doors and he is a blessing. He may decide that he wants to break that income down and allow Christians to win it, but nobody Christian want to play it. Because, for one, was attached to that spiritually. Let's dig into this, since we're talking about this. Spiritually, there is a siphoning spirit immediately attached to that money. So if a Christian that has no spiritual weight financially to play such a risky game, the enemy's going to send a siphoning spirit, which the enemy sends a siphoning spirit anyway to a Christian that's supposed to be a wealth builder anyway, comes to try to sit on a Christian's finances, period. But a Christian that would try to play and win that, you need to have a lot of things set up and in place, and or know where you would go, what you would do, and who you would have put their hands to what it is that you were doing if you won such an amount of money like that. Because a siphoning spirit is going to come after you in 3 to 4 different ways. One, they're going to come at you by reminding you of all the bills that you need to pay. 2, is going to come after you by making you feel that you can't handle having the money. 3, it may threaten your life. 4, it may make you feel so mentally uncomfortable in your mindset that you will spend all of the money quickly doing reckless things until you get back down to an amount that you feel comfortable with, because the enemy wants to siphon that money off. 4, bad investments. I think that's 4 or 5. Bad investments, bad alignments, bad situations, because of the fact that they aren't putting the money in the right places. And next to that, not paying your tithes to protect the money in the first place. I've seen people that were homeless. There was a young woman that was homeless. She won millions of dollars, but she gave the church, for one, she did not give the church 10%. But the pastor was not the right kind of pastor, because even he was operating under a siphoning spirit, because he turned around and sued her for millions, like over a third of the amount of money that she won, which was several millions of dollars. It was like hundreds of millions. It was like 100 and change million of dollars, and he sued her for almost 75% of it, which, as we know, you're supposed to only get about 10%. Anything over that is offering. So, understanding the spirits that are operating behind that, but also understanding the spirits that will prevent you from doing so. But my point was not to go into that realm. My point was to go here. My point was to say that there's so much that a Christian can do when they have the money to do it. There are people out there that need food. Christians could open up grocery stores. I heard from a minister, the same minister, he was talking the other day, the one that said that he would have played it about 3 years ago. He wasn't even saying that he would have played it, but he suggested that. And he was saying the other day that there's a grocery store right now that all they are doing is giving away food. They don't expect you to pay a dime for it. What if you had millions of dollars that you could buy up grocery stores right now and give the food away for free? Because you had the money like that. Because you could purchase the food and say, here. What if you had the money to open up restaurants, stores, so on and so forth, that the money that comes in could be put right back into the kingdom? What if you could create a software to allot kingdom people to bring their finances into this orchestrated financial place and purchase with their own people? There's a application that was made. It starts with a Z. Is it Zodiac? It's some type of app, but it's supposed to be a bunch of Christian people. You can find a bunch of Christian doctors, so on and so forth. Even though I don't understand why they would call it. I don't understand why they would call it Zodiac. But irregardless, having the ability to transfer the wealth financially into the thing in which you are called to walk into. What about that? What's the blessing in that? How can you bless somebody if you had it? There was no limit on your money. And you could spend a series of amount of money on it. A couple million. What would you do? I mean, just let's be real. What would you do? That was my food for thought for today. And I'm getting out this rain because it's starting to rain heavier. So, alright, until next time, from the ministry, bye-bye.